Okay. All right. Mic check. I think we're live. I think we're good to go here. Let me make sure we get the audio correct because had a new cable. I remember a couple weeks ago I was having a problem with my microphone here, but I think we are good right now. So let me know if you guys got good audio going on. Good to see everybody. I ain't seen you in a couple weeks. It's been we've been doing a lot of traveling. I'll tell you that. But we got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. As you've seen in the last couple videos, we've had we went down to Foxtoberfest and in Concord, North Carolina, which is an annual event. And we sometimes you just got to take a step back and go back to where you started. I mean, we'll get into that a little bit later, a little bit into the live stream, whatever. But, a big shout to all our sponsors here on the channel with, McLeod, Tremec, Anderson Ford Motorsports, Hanlon Motorsports, just to name a few, Stiflers, Team Z. Appreciate all those guys for, all those companies for doing what they do with us. So anyways, we haven't been here. We almost got home in time a week ago to do a live stream from Concord, but I'm going to be honest with you. We drove in on literally brake pads, like my rear brakes in my truck. I knew they were low. I was procrastinating, and it's, you get into that mode where you got to just get a bunch of shit done. You just always never have enough time for the simple stuff. Changing brakes and brake pads would have been, a couple hours at best. But man, I tell you what, we were on crunch time to get Dad's car somewhat presentable and ready to run down at Foxtoberfest because we had the 393 stroker carnage bullshit that happened with the last motor. Doesn't make any sense, but we're going to be digging into more of that later on. But I don't know why it's showing @ symbols, but that's like a new change or whatever. So I'm sorry if I get your names wrong. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing or if that's a StreamYard thing, but either way, we will figure it out. That's correct. So we do got our goal for the evening, our 5 goals, 5 super chats, signed T-shirt and or hat to the winner. So we will be giving away a Tremec banner tonight, just to kind of get things started. So we did end up. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, I see that. Long time. Yeah, we really wanted to get our live stream in because coming in from the Foxtoberfest, I really wanted to dig right into what had happened. Not that anything happened bad. It was actually quite wonderful. And it's definitely a show that had almost 900 fox bodies of 79 to 93 genre. It's just I can't say enough. We haven't been to Foxtoberfest in probably 3 years, and we've been doing a lot of racing in lieu of, and it's something that I got a chance to hang out with B again, Brutal and Hanlon and those guys, and we went to the track, which that's going to be one of the videos this week. You guys see we were on the dyno with Dad's car. It was just a good time. You know what I mean? It was just all around well worth the time. And I want to thank everybody that stopped at the booth. I was nonstop talking to subscribers and members of the channel and new people, and we just one right after the other. So I do appreciate everybody who had stopped, that went to the event. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys for taking your time to listen to me on a Sunday or even in any of my videos. But anyways, the main topic of the evening is what did Dad's car run? So what can it run and what did it run are two different things. And again, that's another video that we're going to be coming out with in the next couple of weeks, where I think one mod will basically change the complexion of, what we got going on with Dad's car. But anyway, moving on, Dad's car, we got the video here. I'll go ahead and start it here in a second and show you guys what I was talking about. But I want to make sure that we got good audio here. I don't know what's going on with that. Seems like I'm always fighting with this StreamYard setting. The microphone's right. USB. Huh. So anyways, what's up, Gabe Large, KK Garage? If you guys are working on your Fox body, or you're working on your car, I want to know what you're working on this evening, listening to me, talk a bunch of shit on a Sunday. It's JACKSTAND Church. I love this part. This is my favorite part of the week. You get a chance to hang out with you guys and talk a little bit of shit and have a little bit of fun. And, if you guys got any tech questions or something that you want to talk about, car related, make sure, hit me up in the comments or whatever next, and we'll just keep rolling, baby, So anyways, what did Dad's car run? Well, we'll get right into it. If I could pull the video up. So find it. Big thanks to Skylar Hardy, because if I didn't have, I would have never had this footage, had he not taken it for us. So give me 1 second here. Started tearing down a junkyard 351 today. Where'd you get that at? How much that cost you? What's up, Vance Cooper in the house? Good to see you, brother. Lucifer in the house, installing uppers and lowers along with the anti-roll bar. Hell yeah. JACKSTAND Church, I like that. That's what we do, baby. What's up, Good and You Garage? Frank, HLR Saloon, Jonathan Stickley. Appreciate you guys for stopping. And Adventures of Super Dave in the house. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you guys. Switching into third on my 5-speed swap, Mach 1 yesterday. It grenaded. Man. Rebuild or replace? For what you got into it, guys, this is what I talk about with the Tremix and the TKOs and the T5s. If you blow it up and you can do it budget, get some parts cheap, got an extra spare unit, whatever, then it makes sense. But sometimes you'll be in your rebuild on your transmission that you just blew up, T5, TKO. You'd be halfway to a TKX. And to be honest with you, it just might as well make the move. Now, here's the cool part about having a T5 or whatever. You could drill a boss to make a TKO/TKX fit on a factory T5 bell housing. I actually did a video about it. There's a boss that you could actually drill and tap helicoil, and you could turn your factory T5 Ford bell housing into a Tremec, like a TKO, TKX, and it'll stab right in there. You know what I mean? And then you can still use the same cross member. You can still use the same drive shaft. You have to get a different shifter base, but a lot of as long as I wouldn't order a 10-spline transmission just because you have a 10-spline clutch. So let me caveat that. Don't ever do that. You know what I mean? You never decide the transmission and its strength based off of first of all, if it's 10-spline, most likely it's only $300 or $500 to begin with. So you want to get a 26 spline, and a lot of the clutches that you have aftermarket anyways can either rehub the disc, or you can just buy another disc for like $100 and just put in there, like Center Force and Ram and all that shit. So anyway, that's stick shift shit. But I would just honestly start upgrading. It'd be time for an upgrade, in my opinion. How to take off hard with a C4 and 2200 stall? Probably foot brake that. What's the benefit of having a face-plated manual trans? Never miss a gear, or never get locked out of a gear. A face-plated transmission can be driven on the street just fine. I've never had any problem in the years that I've done it. I have missed before, where it just didn't like it. I just shifted it too soft. You know what I mean? Anyway, so going back to Foxtoberfest, I had a really good time. Dad's car, sometimes you just got to go back to where it started. Dad's car's build is literally a junkyard budget I mean, we flipped the pistons in that block. Like, I had a couple people ask me questions. What does flipping the pistons mean? Basically, I took piston number 1 and put it in number 5 bank, piston number 5 and put it in number 1 bank. And I did that all the way down the block. And all the dots, instead of facing forward, they all face to the rear of the block. Now, in a factory rod and piston scenario, and this includes Explorer, there is a 60 thou offset. And Ford put the engineer into that because rumored that it helped with cold start, the cold start piston slap with Mustangs in the north or whatever in cold weather. You could obviously use that as sort of a mechanical advantage if you flipped it around and made it work the other way. So it kind of made the piston come up the hole a little bit. That's the only thing I can really mechanically. You see what I mean? So like, that's what we did. What's it worth? Have any real life data? No. To create a scenario that's apple to apple like that would be rather difficult. But it's an old dirt track trick. Apparently it worked. It's good for a few horses. Maybe it isn't. I mean, that would be, like I said, a very difficult scenario to, go apples to apples on an engine dyno, whatever. So anyway, what's up, John Thornton, Steph, Hannah Motorsports in the house. So yeah, we got Dad's car. Like I said, it's a flip piston. This motor's been getting its ass kicked from a turbo. Well, it was naturally aspirated. We went like 1330s or 1340s on a slick. I think we put a supercharger in it, went like 1220s or 1199 or something like that. Nitrous probably got us to like 1160 range, and then the fastest we've been with the turbo, with the speed density turbo, because we haven't raced it with the tuned turbo, was 1167. So we think we're in the right spot though, man, because we got a lot of budget minded stuff going on in Dad's car over here that is relatable to a lot of the folks. And like I said, sometimes you just got to go back to where it started. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've had nothing but fun when I went down to North Carolina in my dad's car. My dad's car is so quiet with the 3-inch boreless on it right now, like you can barely hear that thing run. And for my dad, that's perfect. He was extremely happy. He likes the chop, don't get me wrong. He likes the cam shit. But he just wants, he's 73. He just wants a car that he can enjoy and get a little rowdy on the street, right? And it's super relatable. Made 460 wheel, 475 or 471 torque. Plenty of torque, stock motor. I mean, I could legitimately say that's a production stock motor because everything in it, minus the head studs and injectors, are production Ford. And I'm not talking about aftermarket Ford. I'm talking about made in production. So it worked out pretty well. And we're going to probably re-release that video. Like, it's probably one of my better videos that we've had on the channel for a long time. But yeah, it's definitely a good video to reference if you're trying to build budget. You know what I mean? So let me catch up here in chat. What's a good PSI for Mickey Thompson Street R for a highway ride around? 18, 17, depending on how cold the weather is or whatever. That's more of a Street R is like a radial. So, you're definitely not going to want to have any less than that. Hanlon, does your car have a 5-speed or 6-speed? He has a 5-speed. 4-speed, I think. I don't know. I tore the tent down. Car is headed to the body shop for the winter. Okay. Colin Watson, really nice meeting you at Pumpkin Run. Hell yeah. What cam is in my dad's car? It has the stock 93 Cobra cam in it, which actually has a little bit less, if I remember correctly, I think it has less duration than the factory cam, but it has, what is it that makes it better? I think it is the duration or the lobe sep. I can't remember. Both my son's cars are very budget. One is definitely rowdy and very quiet. Hell yeah. The exhaust sound is the only downside of a turbo for me. Love this old school. Yeah, don't get me wrong, man. I like a good cam chop. I like to chop down some trees. I'm really super sad that I don't have Dad's car running right now or my black car running right now because legitimately my dad's car and my black car are almost the same horsepower. We do have to take the 42s out of Dad's car and get them cleaned and probably replace them with 60s, which is going to require a new tune. But the guy told me on the dyno when we were kind of spinning it up, got the 460, 470. He says you started creeping into like 12.2, 12.3 range at 6,000. So that tells me that my 42s are pretty much tapped out. It's either that or my pump's not keeping up anymore. So it's got a 355 pump in it. We did wire it like we did on the channel. It should be good to 550 wheel. So, you know, it's probably more injector than it is pump. But the only way to tell with that is to watch the fuel pressure. Most likely, you know, when you start running out of pump, like your fuel pressure will drop at higher RPMs. You'll see it just move. It should hold and stay. You know, no matter what RPM you're at, you know, you shouldn't bleed off in the middle of a run. That's not good. And don't tune around shit like that. Fix it and be done with it. Whether it's stock or it's aftermarket, whatever. I don't care if you make 1,500 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower, or 300. You know, if you see your fuel pressure, that's the good thing about having an aftermarket fuel pressure that you can watch. You know, whether it's on the Terminator X or physically on a gauge. You know what I'm saying? So I always try to give you guys tech tips every time we do live streams, and you know, that's just what we do here. You know, it's what we do in the garage. Got my handling shirts and hats in the mail. Appreciate it. There we go. There we go. My 408 Cleveland is in. The little stuff is fighting me, but should be running this week. Hell yeah, man. Just stay at it. Stay at it. You could take a break. You could put a car cover over it, but don't quit on your shit. That's one of the biggest problems that we have. You know, we spend so much time and thought in getting these cars running, and you know, this is going to work. This is going to work. Listen, I'm living that facade right now. I said to myself, you know what? December, we're going to get the 393 out. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Yeah, when? When you got time for that shit. You got to make time, right? But I ain't going to do it in the time frame that I expect that I'm going to do it. So I got to tell myself what's reality. You know, the 393 Stroker Carnage, we're going to show that video this week. Can it be fixed fast? No. Probably not. But we're going to give it a shot. We're still going to take a shot at it. Because 100% of shots not taken in basketball are missed. You know, we're gonna take a shot, and we're gonna try to fix it best we can as fast as we can, because we don't want the 393 Stroker being down the whole winter. We got a coupe to build. We're not taking the white car out in 26. We just won't race, and we're gonna bring that video out too. You guys, some of you guys follow me on Facebook already know what the hell I'm talking about. I done split my white car in half. Kinda. It's not wrong. But it is what it is. And we're going to go over some of those areas 45 years later of the concerns and why and how this shit happened. And how I'm going to, you know, you're going to learn from what we did. You know, that car's made 1,000 horsepower, 1,000 torque for years. You know what I mean? And this is the shit that happens. They're little tin cans. Watching from LA. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Neo, have you preferred lightweight battery? I'm not impressed with the lipo durability. Be honest with you, not really. I don't get into the battery too much. You know, if anything, I'd like to take the idea that my buddy Edgar out in California, he's got a turbocharged 363 coupe. And what he did is he took two batteries and made parallel. So he took two smaller batteries and ran his stuff parallel or in series. I think it's parallel, right? Still it has 12 volts or something. But I'm definitely digging that idea. Dan, you going to Quaker this Wednesday? I am. What's up, Mustang guy? Good to see you, brother. So if you guys are in the Northeast area, Ohio, whatever, we're going to make another hit on Wednesday. This is like super boost weather. So the air is going to be super good. And we're going to try to replicate at a different track. We're going to see how good of a 60-foot we can run in the white car. I know it's got a big hole in the middle of it, but you know, what I really, really want to find out is every time I make a hit, is my white car splitting more and more? You know what I mean? Or is that something that happened that I didn't pay attention to a long time ago? Like, so we're going to take, if you don't know what I'm talking about, my white car's got a big hole exit in the middle where the rear seat is, like right behind the console. Doesn't make any sense. Almost like a drive shaft came up and hit it, but from the top, which doesn't make any sense. So what's actually happening in my white car, I got a couple theories that I'm going to run by in the video, and you guys can chime in the comment. These cars are 40 years old. We've been beating the shit out of these cars for so many decades now. Things are going to start bending and breaking because we're making more power nowadays. We're making more power in the technology. It's a lot easier to make horsepower, and and the bodies and the chassis aren't keeping up. I mean, there's things out there that I probably should have had in my white car, like through the floor subframes or a fit system from Stifler's, that probably would have helped the scenario. But it's why we talk here on the channel all the time about, doing the right mods first. You see what I'm saying? And making sure that we have what we need. Making horsepower is not as hard as it was 20. I mean, Dad's car is the epitome of a 90s horsepower build, like just with a turbo though. So, turbo systems like that really weren't around until like OM3 turbo and Helion kits or whatever came out in 2007, 6, 7, 8. I don't know when they came out, but they weren't there when, it was all supercharger in the 90s and nitrous, and that shit was speed density. It was difficult. 300 horsepower was a lot back in the 90s, early 2000, 350, because it was just hard to get. It was just, horsepower was difficult to tune in. Now it's a lot easier with Terminator X and bigger turbos and kits, So, trying to catch up here. What's up, Mustang or Murphy's Law? Good to see you, brother. Long time member. You guys get a chance, want to be a member of the channel, join us on our membership. We got a little join button at the bottom in all of our videos. Appreciate all my members. They have a green name here in the chat or whatever, and they are identified as a member on the chat on the channel. So Hanlon, do you think a TKX would be good behind a Coyote shifting? Yes, absolutely. Turning mine up. Oh, you're going to turn yours up like going to make a hit? Let's go. We had some good DA yesterday. It was awesome track. Yeah, so somebody said something about US 13. The exhaust sound is the only downside to a turbo. Yeah, I think I said that. Yeah, no doubt. Because the turbo actually acts like a muffler. So folks that didn't know, it's literally like a muffler. There was racing rules. Yeah, for years it was like, you can't do a turbo exit or some shit like that. You had to have full exhaust or whatever. But turbos are definitely, like a muffler, I guess. I don't know. I just got in from racing at US 13. Went to the finals today with a budget build. Hell yeah. Congratulations. What good PSI? I've already answered that. Foxbody Central. What up, dude? Neomustangs, do you think Michael Ray's of Dayton performance, he has sworn by speed density for years? Well, I mean, speed density, if I'm being honest, that's all Terminator X systems really based off of. You know what I mean? Mass air was the next step past speed density in the 90s. Mass air can be manipulated and it can manipulate the fuel curve and then whatever. It is speed density, basically. That's what Terminator X's are. I mean, they don't have a mass air sensor anymore. They use, atmosphere or so. I mean, it's definitely in the right direction. I need to do stiffener mods to my car. Maybe do a video discussing this types. I've done. Guys, we got a lot of videos on the channel. A lot of videos talking just about this stuff right here. Subframe connectors, torque box reinforcements, torque box replacements, through the floor, subframe connectors, cages, roll bars. There's just, depending on how much horsepower you plan on making, you know what I mean? So You got to build your car to what you think your car is going to, you got to kind of overthink it a little bit. When you're building your axle, when you're building your transmission or choosing a transmission or even choosing a clutch, you always want to kind of go 3 steps ahead of where you think you'll be at. And the only reason is you don't want to go back and, you buy right or buy twice. You know what I mean? It's something that you want to figure out in advance on where you want to go with the car. So how come you only want to run 60-pound injectors in Pop's car? Why not 80s? 60s or 80s, whatever we have on the shelf. We don't plan on running any faster than what we have. 42s will get you to about 475, 500 wheel, which is about where we're at. 60s will do more than that block will ever see. Why do bruise engine blow? Clearance issue. Listen, it's just some shit that happened. Why did my 393 take a shit? We don't know. It's that's just engine building. That's just sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. As far as the 393 is concerned, our rod bearing issue might have been a little bit less, not enough clearance when it was built. Sometimes those things, it takes a little while. If you don't have it right to begin with, sometimes it takes a little while for like the bearing to chew itself up. And at first it might not seem like it's, it might not seem like there's a problem, but one of the dead giveaways to rod knock, rod bearings, to bearings not seated well or broke in well is watching your oil pressure. Like I can tell you in the 387 and the 393, they would be 65 pounds, pressure, because I don't run high volume. You probably should like not high volume, but high pressure. But I don't like to mess with that shit, even though Windsors have kind of an oiling issue. I think the rear of the block 4 and 5 main, they usually in the rods don't normally get, like they get the oil last. Does that make sense? So you got to make sure you got enough oil in it. Number one, with 387, we kind of shit a brick with that. I think we only pulled out like 3.5 quarts, and it was Windsors will suck the pan dry. Anyway, yeah, you'll notice a difference. Like if the oil pressure can't recover, or if it drops to like a certain number and stays there, like I think one of the most noticeable things on the 393 that happened is, it would start cold at like 70, 65 PSI on oil. And as it would warm up, it would drop to like 40, right? The oil's hot, it's warm, it's whatever. Make a strong hit in it. It go like 36, 37. And then it would kind of recover when it cooled back down, go back to 45. And that's basically what my 363 does with my turbo passes that I make. It's been doing that. Like it's worn in really good. Everything's good. The motor's happy, at least for now. The 393 went straight to like, instead of recovering at 40 PSI, it would go to like 20. And I noticed it start to drop and then just getting worse and progressively worse to the point where I was like, you know what? There's just no way. We didn't set the motor up loose. I knew there was kind of an issue starting, and then that happened. So we did drive on it a couple weeks when it had lower oil pressure warm. It was always 65 or 70 to start, but it's kind of one of those things to keep an eye on. When you watch your oil pressure kind of drop more than it normally did at warmed up temperatures, there's something going on somewhere. So anyways, buy once, cry once. That's correct. My Mystic Cobra, I daily drove 480 for years. Hell yeah. Pimp in the house. Good to see you. Nah, he had mad fine particles in there. It was chewing itself up a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think I didn't have that in my 393. I don't know what the hell happened. It just, that's twice that crankshaft specifically has failed on us. But I'm not going to blame the crankshaft. So at least now we can go through and grind the crank on the 393 and actually set bearing clearances to like 2 3/4. I think that's what we're going to go with. It's probably another 1/2 to 3/4 thou more than what we did. I mean, running an engine loose doesn't hurt it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with it. At least it doesn't chew itself up. You know what I mean? run it too tight. There's 3 videos all about bearing material. My guess is RPM. He was at 7,400 when bearing slipped, oiling issues. He was fighting a rattle noise earlier on in the build. I wonder if that was the rod. There's definitely a noise. I thought my rod in my 393, I thought it was valve train. It was so like not important. You know what I mean? It wasn't concerning at all. Like that's just the motor running. You could hear the valves, you could hear the valve train, whatever. And it progressively got a little bit louder, but I'm thinking to myself, wasn't a big deal. But that's when I started noticing the oil drop, and I'm like, you know what? There's something wrong here. Building my coupe with a motor not the one that I want. Okay. My 395 was awesome this season. Good clutch in it would take the power. Yeah, sometimes they just set in stone. Sometimes when you build a motor, it just let the R363 we built in September of 24, man. The one that's in the white car right now, it just got progressively faster. We threw 20 pounds of boost at that motor, with a 11-to-1 compression on pump E85. We threw almost 20. It was 19.8. Well, I think we tickled 20 once. No head gasket issues. Valve train probably needs replaced at this point, but we never took it up past 7,000. I mean, it made all its power. It was a good motor to us, and it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass, but we do have AFR heads on it, and we do have Trickflow 227s that's supposed to go on it, but it's going in a whole nother car. So I would almost be inclined. We're going to set the coupe up suspension-wise to be quite a bit different than the white car was. And then we're going to leave the white car suspension alone. It's kind of like one of my signature things in this on the channel with the white cars, all the work that we did with the suspension to make it do what it does on, whether it be on the back half, on the street, or, on the front half or whatever. So anyways, yeah, the rattling and the loss of bearings at 7,400 finally gave up. Yeah. To chew themselves up. So let me bring us in. What's up, Shelby County? Good to see you guys. It's good to see everybody, man. It's been a week. I know sometimes I don't get a chance. Well, I didn't get a chance to live stream because I was in North Carolina, but I miss y'all. All right, so this is Dad's Pass here. And let me tell you, I had probably some of the funnest shit with my dad's car. I mean, we kind of slammed it together kind of last minute in the last week, redoing the taillights, the headlights, touching the paint up, which is a good 30-footer. Put our slicks on. I mean, it's got a full exhaust. If you follow us on Facebook, I think we even put the picture up on YouTube here, but if you looked at the last couple of videos, that's a heavy exhaust. That's not light. That was from our black car. We had a turbo in front of it, but this is what it ran, which isn't terrible, if you ask me. 721 at 98 miles an hour. 98 miles an hour is what Dad's car ran. It was a pretty good pass. I mean, for what it is. I mean, you're talking about a car that's the most relatable car that we've ever had on the channel. Like, Dad's car legitimately has a stock front end. We do have 31 spline axles because you guys remember we broke them axles a couple years ago. It's got a stock T5. It's got a Ram Power Grip HD clutch. So if you guys were interested in like a single disc, something that'll hold around 500 horsepower, hit up my man Hanlon. Ram took care of us. Pat and Mike took care of us on this clutch. This is the one that we went with. We went with a Ram Power Grip HD single disc, and it was much better than the Spec 2 Plus that we had in there because the Spec was really hard on the foot pressure, and for good reason. I mean, Spec clutches always done their job for us here on the channel. Project Hot Wheels had a hybrid Spec clutch in it, but for what it is, there's and this pass was with a 161 60 foot. There's probably a good 7.0 pass out of this car, putting it up on 2-step / rev limiter. I mean, I'm foot braking it right here. We're leaving kind of soft. I mean, you can see it. but it gets down. It's a full weight car. There's no weight reduction done to my dad's car whatsoever. It's got rear seats, it's got a heater box, it's got front and rear bumpers. It doesn't have a tubular K member. Like I said, it's got factory front suspension, like all the K member shit. Like I said, the only upgrade that we did 31 spline in the axle. We got a couple strange shocks that we stole from the black car and put on there. That's it. There's really not a whole lot there. We spent all our time on the junkyard block, the flip piston GT40P. We put that turbo kit together with half of BG kit that we had sitting over here and half of an on3 kit that we had over here and some piping, some slip fit shit that we got from Amazon. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy with what it did. It's a T5. It's whining. Listen, I put that T5 together with parts that I wouldn't sell a customer. Like you guys know, we rebuild T5s here on the channel. For some of our kits that we sell, and like we put together, we call it a Frankenstein T5 with a welded ear. It has a welded ear on it. And it's got like a second, third, and an input shaft from transmissions that I took them parts out of. Because I mean, it's whatever. If I break it, I fix it. I got a whole nother pile of that shit sitting over here. I should make another spare T5 for this, but it's held. Hell, that's a 460 wheel. That's damn near 550 to the crank on a stock 302 block with a turbo and the T5, and it's holding. So I don't know. For how long? I don't know. It could break when I go out on the street tomorrow. That's how my Z-Spec broke twice. I wasn't even getting into booze. I hit third, boom, gone. Crazy. But what did it say? Take that back. Project Hot Wheels is OG stock bill. It is. Won't you need new pistons changing over to the canted valves, Neo? For what? Do you run a line lock on the white car with the two-step? I don't. So, anyways, yes, it does have subframes. So it was a pretty good left really solid. I was slipping that clutch ball. We didn't actually go a third pass. We were supposed to race with Brutal on the third pass, which would have been a hell of a race. That would have been a great race between he and I, because I think B went 7-0 at 102, so he had the mile an hour on me. But big thanks to Skylar for getting that video for us. Brutal found out the hard way he needs subframe connectors. What's up, Neo? For running a carburetor on a mild built 302, what would you prefer an exhaust? Running straight through Flowmasters or keeping the X-pipe? Keep the X-pipe. Run long tubes. Run a chamber. Run a chamber muffler if you want some sound, or run a straight through if you want a little bit more power. Or a little bit more power to sacrifice the sound. Yes, it has subframes. It has good subframes on it. It has these Stiflers. Ceramic coated pistons. What about it? Are you asking me if I've done that before? I like blue cars. What's up, Garrett? Good to see you, brother. Garrett Leach in the house. Second Shift Racing. Yeah, we did pretty good, man. We did pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Sometimes, like I said, I had more fun. I had more fun stepping back to like where it all started. Like, because I mean, that's basically my black car, you know what I mean? Was the start of it all. White car started it, doing some of the horsepower things, and my black car was almost the same as what Dad's car is. But the one thing that we've learned over the years, it's just like it's a rabbit hole. And this is what you got to watch for. Because we made good horsepower on a basically stock 302 with junkyard parts. Like, GT40 heads, GT40 intake, that's stock parts. Cobra cam, Cobra rockers, those are stock parts. Even the 42s are stock parts. They're actually in production vehicles, but we're still going to count it as an aftermarket. I mean, you got to feed the motor. But the point of the matter is this is where the rabbit hole begins, and this is what you got to look out for. You start making power, and then you start like, well, what's next? Okay, I got to do this. Okay, what's next? I got to do this. I got to do this. So one thing leads to another, and the next thing you know, you got 10 or 20 grand in mods that you're spending on a car, and you got to learn to try to budget that. You know, you got to take your time with it, but I mean, you don't want your car down, and that's why I talk about getting your shit out the jack stands. As a matter of fact, that's the shirt we got on. I wanted to show you. I wanted to wear it tonight. You know, this is Dad's Car's blue shirt that we have on our website at neomustangs.com. I mean, it's what we're always preaching, man. You know, it's you don't want your shit sitting on jack stands. Do a mod that makes sense. So there's one mod in specific that's going to get Dad's car into the 680 range. I think Dad's car, the way it sits, is tickling 1090s. The way it sits. All I got to do is set up a 2-step / rev limiter, lead a little bit harder, 12 pounds of boost, 13 pounds of boost. It runs like that. Pass was on our first horsepower number on the dyno, if you guys watch that video. So at 440 wheel, you know, that car probably weighs 3,400 pounds with me in it. Easy. There's no lightweight shit. So can you do it? Yeah. There's a lot of folks that relate to that type of build, and it's not the only type of build that's out there. A good Coyote build will get you that number. A good Stroker 351 build will get you that number. You make 455, you make 450 wheel, depending on how light the car is, you'll run a 10. In a fox body. I mean, LX, hatch, whatever. A coupe, even better. A couple 100 pounds less. You see what I mean? So there's a lot of good builds out there when you budget building in 25 that you can, you know, we didn't have that stuff 20 years ago. You know, we didn't have Coyotes in a junkyard. You know, we didn't have 351 Windsors that were easily built. Guys, there's a shortage of machinists in this world. Off topic, you're looking for a career, go be a machinist, man. Like, it's so hard to find somebody to build a 351 Windsor right now, and it's not necessarily me, but Dave doesn't have time to build production blocks anymore. He's like, I just want to build horsepower. I want to build big Coyotes. I want to build big inch Windsors. You know what I mean? That's what he has time for. 5 years from now, I've seen this on TikTok. 5 years from now, you're going to see the new life hack is going to be become a roofer, become a construction. You know, we talk about it here at the channel all the time. Go be a mechanic, man. Go learn how to weld. Welding's a great job. It makes really good money and has good benefits. I mean, I'm just saying. Machinist, another thing. You know, you can go to, engine building. Man. So anyway, Hurricane 1920, man, I appreciate the $10 super chat. Thank you so much for donating to the channel. I like blue cars too. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yes, ever done ceramic coating on pistons? Yes. We got a 363 rotating assembly, and we actually ended up coating. This is what a coated piston. This is what he's talking about. This is one of our old 363 pistons. Like I said, we're 11 to 1, 11.5 to 1. This is we had about the same piston that we put in the motor. We didn't give a shit. It's all we had in the shelf. You guys remember I was trying to throw that 363 together before Kentucky 2024 to try to win the stick shift ring, which ended up being a hurricane. Like legit, like literally a hurricane. But I think this is what he's talking about. We coated these pistons to make up about. Why would you coat pistons? Well, we coated these pistons or sent them out to have coated because we were we had a 363 that's 125 bore, okay? And we actually honed, when we bought the block, we actually honed it out to a 130. And the piston, the valve, or piston skirt to wall was a little bit, I think we were trying to get 4.5 thou ish. And when we were doing our measurements, we were like at like 5.5. So one thing you can do is it's good for, it does protect the piston, but it also fills the gap for, piston the wall. I think that's what we did it for. I think that's why that's coded the way it is, but that's what it looks like. So what he's talking about with coating pistons is for that very reason. It helps you boost it. It helps, the structure of the piston, but it also helps fill, like if you have a motor that you're honing out and you take a thou out of it or whatever, it'll help tighten up the piston, the wall. So, free fire shirt. I want more power than more than what? I want more power than more than more. Doug, there's never enough power. What's up? I'm at work. Good to see you, Imp. HLR Saloon, man. Appreciate the $20 super chat. Donating to the channel. Helps us to go to events like Foxtoberfest, man. Appreciate you guys. All my members. Hey, Dan, quick question. With the Trick Flow 227s, do you need Trick Flow pistons to clear the valves? I'm pretty sure. I want to buy a balanced rotating assembly of 408. Not sure if they provided the positions pistons to clear. I'm pretty sure you need the twisted wedge, and you know what I'm looking at because you'll see an extra notch. I think there's an extra notch up here near the skirt. So just to stay budget, ever think of clutch taming versus two-step? So we have a tamer from Garrett Leach at which is probably the best tamer on the market by far. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if you guys watched the video on YouTube, but we pulled a 119 60-foot out of my white car with my left and right foot. We didn't use a two-step, and you guys know we have it. We didn't use a rev limiter. We didn't have our tamer in it yet. No electronics. All we did was we went out and did our little bullshit with our left foot and our right foot. And, I slipped the clutch with my left foot. Yeah. All the way down the track. So I don't know if I showed you guys that, but it was a pretty popular video on Facebook. It's pretty crazy. I don't know where I put it at. I think it's right here. So I just did my bullshit rev up. So I went 119 in the 60-foot. I don't know where the ticket's at. I think it's here. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's what we did right there. Crazy. I love it. Just glad to see you out there having fun, man. I appreciate that. Hell yeah. That's all I want to do is have fun. When this shit ain't fun no more, we're going to put a car cover over it, and we're going to take a break. So, yeah, left foot, right foot, 119.8. I went 566 at 121. Mile an hour was a little bit down because, I had to. You see me go left there. That was probably a 60 or maybe even in the 50s there. I had to lift a little bit, man. The car was getting a little bit wacky, but it was pretty. That was a pretty good pass. Had a good reaction, ish. Good 60-foot in Senate. Love that shit. What brand are you using for clutch cables? Whatever Hanlon Motorsports gives me. I think it's either UPR or Ford Racing. I don't remember. Does the GT40 heads have a weak springs, or is it just the GT40P heads? you should be replacing the springs regardless. So if you're going to try to mimic the type of build that we've done with the GT40 stuff, just go get the Trick Flow 2500, 100 springs. That's what we put in them. They're good for a season, depending on how much you drive. They're good for about 550 lift, but you don't need a big cam to make power. I think the stock Cobra cam is what's the specs on the stock Cobra cam? Isn't it like 430s? I don't even know if it's better than the actual speed density or mass area. I don't even remember. I have it somewhere. Somebody tell me what the Cobra cam specs are. Two-step and tamer would it be more consistent mod? You're right, and we did two-step all year, Vance. But we've set my car up on a small turbo to leave like nitrous for a decade now. Or not a decade, but for like 3 or 4 years now. And I've been less consistent with a two-step and slower than I was with my left foot, right foot. Like just going back to the basics of what the way we built the car. The white car is unique, man. It'll run an 870 out the back door, but it's built for 8th mile, and it's time to put it away for a while and let the coupe do its work. But hoping the coupe will give us at least a 10th or 2 in the same type of combo to where we can kind of lean on it and go straighter. Did you ever do a 460 swap build? I have not. I think the blue cars, my car here, Dad's car here is a 373. Hey, Neo, what gear ratio are you running? Okay, so that's a 373 in the blue car because we never changed the gear. It did pretty good for 8th mile. $270, $270, $479. That's with the 172 rockers, though. No? Two-step is needed for me. Yeah, so when you're running like a bigger turbo or, even twins, what boost do you leave on by foot launching? About 4. Like it actually builds boost with my feet. It's ridiculous. Maybe not even that. It just spools so damn quick. It's got a 1.27 AGP housing. So I don't know if you guys know, but AGP Turbo, Ben over at AGP Turbo makes a lot of custom housings for a lot of turbos. If you're out there and have turbos that you're interested in getting a bigger exhaust housing, he has an array of them. He's got some good turbos too. We still got the AGP 8080 that we have over here, the mid-frame hybrid, small frame. It's kind of he built a 8080 for us. So we never actually put it back on the white car since we got the two-step actually dialed in. I'd have to retune it though. What's your favorite wastegate brand? Precision. There's a lot of good ones out there though, but Precision Turbo is my favorite one. 44 for cars like Dad's. 46 millimeter for cars like Dad's, and 66 for cars that make anything above 750. Get rid of that boost. So but yeah, that's what Dad's car ran. I'm pretty sure. What do you guys think about taking the black car's UPR K member out? I got to get new struts anyways. I think I mentioned that in the video. And really considering my dad's car needs new struts anyways. So I'm considering taking a little bit of the YouTube money, the little ramen noodle shit, and getting some cheap, strange struts. Because it's going to be, it's not going to be cheap. We did save a couple months, I guess. We got to fix the 393 now too. So, but the point of the matter is, we could get a couple of the 10 ways in the front. I think those struts are only like $150 anyways. And then go ahead and put the UPR K member in Dad's car. And then coil over, convert it from the black car, and then put the Team Z. We got the other Team ZK member in control arms over there that we can start over with the black car and have it a little bit lighter. It's something to consider. I'm pretty sure that, you know, we take 100 pounds off the nose of my dad's car and set up a 2-step limiter. I mean, if the T5 even survives, that's the whole funny thing. Is the T5 going to survive that bullshit? At the current power level it's at, don't do shit to it. Like as far as power level, actually dial it back to where it ran a 720, which is I don't know, a couple turns on my manual boost controller. We're not even keeping track, but you know, dial it back to like 12.5 pounds of boost, and then, you know, change the K member in the front and actually set it up on like a gate or a 2-step or a rev limiter, and I bet that car go 670s, 680s. I bet you. I mean, it might even, we don't know. Sky's the limit. I don't think I'd run it out the back door quarter mile, because I don't want to go 130 in Dad's car. They'll probably kill me. LMR heads worth the shit. I mean, for the money, I would just put GT40 on versus LMR heads. You know, if you're going to spend good money, just get some trick flow 170s. Trick flow 170 is probably one of the best entry level, probably one of the best cylinder heads you can put on a stock block 302. Like by far. I got a set of 170s over here that worked well on the 387 stroker, man. Them things, they got good port velocity. There's a reason why they brought them back. You know what I mean? It's a good cylinder head. Cobra spec calculates to, so it's 485. That's kind of high, isn't it? Cobra cam specs. It doesn't say it. What are the specs on the 93 factory camshaft? Corral.com. Guys, there's stuff on the internet that's been here for like 30 or 40 years. If you're just getting into like foxbody Mustangs or budget building or whatever, there is just a endless amount of good tech, good information. I think, yeah, very useful info. Is that what it is? There was another website that's like, but I'm on Corral right now. It says 479 once with 1.7s, 209 on what's the lobe separation? Is that right? 118. There's no way it's 118. 475, 266, 266. $282. What is that? 282, 172 rocker fork. Okay. I'm almost done with my rear torque box reinforcements and rebuild. So send me some pictures of that, brother. I want to see that. What is the lobe set? I think that's the reason why I went with the camshaft. I got it in my little cheat sheet in my phone, but I don't feel like looking at it. I'm pretty sure it's because of the lobe set. 172 rockers. Cobra's 270, 270, 479 with 1.7s. So minus the 1.7s, what is it? At 1.6. 282. So it is a little bit better of a cam, right? T-Moss measured it, got 50, 219, 212. So anyways, if you guys are ever looking at stock camshafts and you see them at a swap meet, I don't know if I've ever told you, I actually made a little video about it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, how to identify factory camshafts. There is it doesn't matter if it's the Explorer, the 351 Windsor, the HO from a Thunderbird, from a Mustang, whatever. Usually between the first lobe and the cam gear, if you look, there's like a little hatched area. Sometimes it's on there, sometimes it's not. But that's where they stamp them at. And there's letters. So if you're ever at a swap meet or you're trying to identify, I don't know if this is a factory camshaft or not. They always stamped all their camshafts. Now, aftermarket ones do the stuff in the back of the camshaft. That's how you identify it. But the front one, if it's a TE like Tango Edward, it would be a 351 Windsor roller camshaft and or a Explorer 50 camshaft. If it says Z or ZE, that's a Mustang speed density / mass air. There's not enough shit I give to identify the difference between the two because it's very, very, very small. But like, because Z or ZE, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Mass air, speed density, it's the same cam. There's a stamp. It's a GT. So if you see like a GT stamp, that's an actual 93 Cobra cam. That's how you know what it is. That's how you identify the factory camshafts. They actually have a letter stamp on them. So, lobe sep appears to be 118. That's sick. I think that's why I put that in there, Shelby, because I remember reading the Cobra cam had such a crazy amount of lobe sep. I think the stock one's like 114 or 116, 114, which is really good. Lobe separation is really good for turbos. And I think that's the reason why we went with the Cobra cam with the 172 rockers, just because it was production. And I'm kind of proving a point with the fact that, hey, I'm just going to run a bone stock motor and, run the shit out of the boost. You know what I mean? That's kind of what we did in the black car. It's kind of theme. Project Hot Wheels was always really cool because we did it with a bone stock motor. Like we just put some head studs on it and injectors, much like we did here, but we did it with the stock intake and stock heads. This guy, no porting. We just had a bunch of fun. Don't you lobe it when it happens? As long as you don't go crazy with LSA on a cam, you can't overdo it with speed density setup, can you? I don't think so. McBride Racing in the house. I have a brand new, never ran set of Edelbrock ET Street 170s runners for sale. There you have it. Hey, Neo, what size turbo on the blue car? It's a little baby 7068. It's one of them on 3 turbos. To be honest with you, that turbo's actual front wheel is from a different turbo. Like I think I took 2 turbos and made one. I had one that had a bad wheel in the front and the other one that had a bad exducer or something. I don't remember. You could swap that shit all. It's crazy. I had a couple of 70 millimeters and I actually made one. That's the one that's on it. So it's a home built turbo that's made of spare parts and shit. That whole car's extra shit that we had laying around. Love it. 100% agree. Little details. Had over 40 years. Factory cranking rods, pro shifted. Love it. I went with an F cam and P heads. Stock love sep is 115. Anyways, all right. So we got a banner to give away. We're gonna give away. Hold on a minute. Let's give away a Hamlin one. We haven't given away a Hamlin one in a couple weeks, couple months actually. And I'm almost out. Oh, son of a bitch. All right, we'll give away the Tremec one today. So, hashtag Tremec. Go ahead and fire it up. So if you win the banner, send me an email, neomustangs@hotmail.com, so I can forward it or make a label and make a label. So hashtag Tremec for the banner. We'll do Drew, I don't know if you're still here in chat, but we're getting low on banners, so just let me know what that's going to cost or whatever. I know you donated them all, and I appreciate that, but I know they're not cheap. These things are like $27 a piece to get made. So it is really appreciative of Tremec, the Cloud Stiflers, Hamlin, Motorsports, everybody who's helped out with some banners or whatever. Like I said, Neomustangs.com has our JACKSTAND shirt. You guys see it? Dad's car on the back. I wore this the first day of Foxtoberfest when we got down there on Friday. So Go buy some merch. I need to start actually telling, kind of promoting my website. I got all them designs I spent all that money on. Oh shit. I gotta sign it. So anyway. Yeah. I don't know if I think we got new banners from Tremec. They're kind of different. The old ones I think they were a little bit thicker, but these have a different material on them. So I don't know which one I like better, to be honest with you. Mustang guy, 43 months, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you being part of the channel, being part of the membership, brother. Shelby County, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. We will put that to good use, brother. Hell yeah. I have an F-Cam and Performer RPM knockoff intake, World Products. Heads be ported. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. What's wrong with using a C4? Nothing. Just don't use it. We've been 990s on a stock block turbo with a C4. Okay. We'll do a shirt. We'll do trivia on the shirt. How about that? So we'll be giving away a shirt tonight as well. So let me go ahead and pick a winner. Like I said, at hotmail.com. That's the website. If and when you win. So hoping to get some more banners soon. Let me scroll all the way up. All right, here we go. Good luck, y'all. Let me scroll up, scroll up. Here we go. And down we go. And we have Pence Pony Performance. Congratulations. Tremec banner. Make sure that you go ahead and give us Andrew, man. I appreciate the $10 super chat for the channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys, tonight. Taking care of it. Appreciate y'all. Neomustangs at hotmail.com. Pence. Send me, actually, if you would, when you guys win something, t-shirt, hat, whatever, banner, send me an email like of your car with the banner when you get it, because I usually ship it out the next day. And send me some details on it so I can put it up on Facebook and put it up on YouTube. I always like to show your guys' shit. You know what I mean? Your guys' cars. Like, regardless if it's a project, I don't care about, you guys know I don't care about no show cars around here. If you got one, show me. I'll love it anyways. But if you got a project that you're working on, tell me what you got going on. Much like the guy who won the FP mufflers, he actually sent me a picture, which I forgot to pin. It's my fault. But big shout to FP Performance Mufflers, because FP they let us keep the 3-inch mufflers for the black car so we can swap back and forth with the Vibrance. And they actually sent a 2.5 muffler to the winner. So I appreciate them doing that for us. So thank you guys so much. And I love the FP sound. They sound good. Sound good. Is Fox Turboset worth it? Absolutely. 100%. Listen, it was always a good show, but I got so deep into racing so much that I just didn't have enough time, let alone money, to take away and go do that show the last few years. Brutal said he was going. I said, you know what? It'd be cool to hang out with Brutal again, and it'd be cool to hang out with Hamlin again. Got a chance to hang out with Brother Tom. If you guys get a chance to talk, we're actually going to have Brother Tom on the show. We're going to be doing a live stream with some of the Yodi guys, with Zach and Hamlin and Brutal and Foxcast in the near future. But we're going to bring Brother Tom on next week. We got some real deal foxbody shit, car guy shit to talk about with him, and he and I really, I had such a great conversation with him on both Friday and Saturday. And, I don't know if you guys get a chance, go check out Brother Tom on YouTube. It's Tom Fletcho on Facebook somewhere. I think he has a page as well. Regardless, we're going to be able to talk. I want you guys to meet him if you haven't already. He's pretty awesome, dude. And he's really cool to hang out with. He's got a one-of-one set of wheels, fellas. I think he calls this car Cookie Monster, and it's blue, of course, like this one behind me. But he's got like a bead-locked set of Pony R's. What? They're dope. They're super awesome. So it's not a cookie cutter car, as he would. I think that's what he says. It's definitely a very unique type of car. But he also talks about that. We're going to be talking about that and the woes about the whole rabbit hole thing. That was such a great conversation I had with him. But he got himself another car, and he's doing kind of like what we're doing with Dad's car, just kind of keeping it budget and fun, I guess you want to say. I mean, let's be honest. We get so wrapped up in these cars to spend all this money to make a little bit more horsepower, or to go a little bit faster, or to look a little bit better with the wheels, or the combination with the stance, or the diffuser, or whatever. And I'm not making any fun of anybody's mods. I'm not saying any of that. Just we get crazy with this shit. And I don't care if it's Camaro, Firebird, OBS truck, Foxbody Mustang, Chevy Bel Air, I don't know, whatever. To each their own. I mean, it's truly a rabbit hole, 100%. And it gets crazy. So, Tom is a local Chicago guy. Hell yeah. Tom's good people. Trickville 170s work 11R. That's right. As long as the seat open pressures are similar, 10 to 20 pounds, it shouldn't be a matter what head manufacturers are saying they set up right. I missed you guys at the drag strip, but I was impressed at the turnout. Yes. So I'm about to tell you guys, Pence, did you see that you won? Where's he at? I think he knows, right? No, I'm trying to figure out if I want to make the 16-hour. Absolutely. Listen, Foxtoberfest is all week, so you could come anytime during the week, and there's going to be a bunch of shit going on. I could only come on Friday. We came Thursday night and drove halfway through the night, and we just basically went straight to the track. So speaking of which, next year at Foxtoberfest, we're going to bring a class. It's not a new class. It's not a new concept, but it's kind of a spin-off of an old class that used to run NMRA, but it used to be called Pure Street. Now I'm just calling it Pure Street because, the track that we're at Foxtoberfest is Mooresville Dragway, and it's just a little 8-mile thing. It looks like a lot of the no prep stuff that I've went down for the last 3 or 4 years, but it's pretty sticky, and it's actually a pretty cool track. So lots of room. I had a great time with Brutal and Hamlin there racing, and I think we raced with LMR and a couple other folks. Had a little shootout. But I think we're going to be doing what's called a Pure Street shootout at Foxtoberfest in 26. I think the winner's going to get a big gold chain with a big medallion. Pure Street winner, so they can wear it at the show the next day. Pure Street will have an index. What I did notice is a lot of the cars that were at the track, and there was a ton of them, were all pretty much running between like 750, 80, 850 in the 8th mile. And you're talking about cars that have pony wheels and Cobra R's and, SVE wheels and whatever. Like they were street cars. So sometimes taking a step back, I found something in North Carolina that I've been missing for a long time, and it's, enjoying my shit. We put Dad's car together and we had a bunch of fun that whole weekend. And it's miles per gallon. I'm telling y'all. And that's what the whole basis of getting your shit out the jack stands. We did it with Dad's car. We've done it with the black car over and over again, with the white car over and over again. And I had so much fun just stepping back. I mean, 720s, 7.0s, 690s, that's fast. But like, I had a chance to just enjoy it and do it with less than I ever did before. And seeing everybody else's car having some fun. I think the Pure Street class is going to be pretty fire. I think we'll bring it to Ford Takeover. I have to get with Caleb and I have to get with Jacob Lamb first before I make that decision to see if it can even fit, because I don't want to mess with any of the shootout stuff that's going on at Ford Takeover, which was absolutely fire this past year. There was $15,000 worth of stuff to win between two classes, and I think there was a total of 17 cars. So big shout to Jacob Lamb for stepping. I mean, he over and beyond with the shootouts at Ford Takeover. So if we can get the Pure Street class in at Ford Takeover, that would be really good. And then we can bring it to Foxtoberfest as well. And we're talking about street tires, full interior cars, licensed, insured, basically registered for the show type shit. Like it'll be like an 8.0 index, and then we'll have maybe like a 650 index. Like, I know bracket racing's back. I don't care. We're just there to have fun anyways. And then have a little bit of, we're not there to go heads up for $10,000. It's going to be like a $40 buy-in, and each person that buys in for the class gets a t-shirt for the shoot. That's shootout specific. I got a couple really good ideas. I've been shaking it back and, shaking ideas back and forth with, some of the other racers and even with Jen at Foxtoberfest. So that's what we're going to have. It's going to be pretty fun. It's going to take us back. It's going to take us back to where Dad's car's at. We could probably turn Dad's car down to like 8 pounds of boost and run 750 or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know what you guys think. I think that's pretty fun. Make it real street. Pure Street will be good. I'm not a serious track guy, but it's always fun to run with my homies. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. The whole point of the class, $40 buy-in, and you get a t-shirt that's shootout specific for that day, for that show. And you race against other dot tires. Like, you can put a slick on if you want, but we'll probably get rid of that rule too. Full weight, full interior. In the spirit of the class, I don't want any bracket racing cars. I just want cars that are registered for the show, that are daily driven, to show up and to have a good time with us. That's all we want to have. We just want to have a good time. You know what I mean? What do you mean street tires? Dot tires. You can put a dot slick on, as long as it's got a dot, like a sticker on it or whatever. I know what they all are. So Pure Street's going to be what it's called, man. I'm going to take a step back. We do a lot of fast, no prep, stick shift, street racing, back halfway. We do all that stuff here in the channel. I want to take a step back and go the different direction. You know what I mean? Back where it all started, which was slower streetcar stuff. I don't want to call it slow because it's not. It's just relevant. I want to make a relevant race that people are going to have fun at. You're not going to win a stack of money, but you will win some money. You'll get a t-shirt, and then you'll get this big ass chain with this medallion that says you're the Pure Street winner that you get to wear at the show. Then at least at Foxtoberfest, you get to wear it all day the next day. Pretty cool. So, all right, Jesse, be safe out there in the truck, brother. Appreciate you stopping in. Let me know how that torque box reinforcement stuff goes. Does anyone make an X pipe can buy for long tubes? Does anyone make an X pipe you can buy for long tubes? You can make one. Rear seat deletes do count. So about the only thing that I'm going to, there's a couple of things that we haven't hashed out yet, but rear seat delete is okay because there's a lot of folks that have that rear seat delete looks nice. Not really going to go that crazy with it. But as far as like Pure Street rules, it'll be licensed, insured, registered for Foxtoberfest show, dot tire. Basically, if you got a full cage, you're probably not the car that we're going to be, in the spirit of the class, we're probably not going to let you in the class. I want cars that are just like Dad's car. I want cars that are like, Coyote swap, Coyote Gen 1 swap cars, all motor cars, maybe big inch Windsor motor cars. That's the type of shit I want. Yes, you get a Neo-made Flavor Flav chain. That's right. Big gold chain with a medallion in the middle that says Pure Street Winner Foxtoberfest 2025. Yes, and you get to wear, since Foxtoberfest drag, the Pure Street is the day before the show, you'll be able to pimp that out the next day. So it'd be pretty cool. 6-point cage, that's actually a roll bar. NA and power added classes, it's going to be whatever. It's going to be indexed, so you can't go faster. You go faster, you're out. It's just meant to be around cars that, it's basically a class. Pure Street's a class for cars that are HCI swapped, exhaust, Coyote swapped, stock motor, big inch Windsor, all motor stuff, mini turbo like Dad's car, maybe a little bit less power. I mean, we're not going to get into the whole AC and heat thing. I mean, you could, but I'm not going to get that crazy with the Pure Street. If it's daily driven, that's the cars I want there. So if it's daily driven or daily drivable, license insured, turning signals, pretty much full weight. I mean, I know cars are going to vary a little bit, but when I go to tech the car, like I'm looking for specific things. And if it's a grudge bracket racing car with like one seat in it, it's probably not the type of car it needs to be in the class. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But there's other stuff for other. I mean, we'll have a different class possibly for that. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, what's up, Jimmy Hilt? Good to see you, bro. So make sure you guys check out that join button, become a member. We got we got a shirt and or a hat to give away. So we're gonna do a trivia. So I'm not really sure what I've been going back and forth and what I wanted to actually ask a question. So basically right now we had a number of super chats for the goal and for the t-shirt. So how this works, pretty easy. If you get the question right, then you go to neomustangs.com, which is where we have our merch at, and you tell me what shirt style and color that you want, and we will ship you out a shirt. So big shout out to 417 Fox because he makes the merch for us and he gets it done and out the door literally in 2 days. You'll have your shirt by the end of the week. So shirt and or hat. So you can pick one or the other, whoever wins. So trivia answer is #vibrant. Right. So trying to think what would be a good kind of semi-hard question that we would let me think about it for a second. VRS exhaust makes an X pipe for some big long tubes. Okay. He was just, I don't know what to ask. What questions should I ask? Should it be about something about the black car? I don't know, man. I'm stuck and shit. Something very specific. Huh. Hashtag maybe I'm failing. Ask gear ratios. No. Trying to think. Really kind of what? Yeah. In Project Hot Wheels, we'll go back to Project Hot Wheels. This is good. In Project Hot Wheels, what mod did we do to the car to try to control its launch? It's kind of a vague question, so I'll go another one if somebody doesn't get it. What mod did we do in Project Hot Wheels to make it launch better? You're gonna it's not subframes. Pimp got it. You're close. So I guess I'll go with that. Pimp got the right answer. Airbag in the rear spring. But what was it? I'll give you a chance to say what it is. Yes, that's what we did. Airbag or so. All right, look. God dog it. Okay, so Pimp was half right because airbag is a football, but who was the next person? Matt, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys both a shirt and or a hat. Go pick out something from Neomustangs.com because Pimp, you were right. Airbag in the rear spring, but Matt Wright said football, so I'm just gonna go with both of them. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna go with both of them. I love it. I don't care. We're gonna give away both. We'll give away 2 tonight. So make sure you guys hit me up on neomustangs.com or in the email. Go to neomustangs.com, Pimp and Matt Wright, and tell me what you want. Email me and tell me what you want, and then I can forward it to Mike and get it sent out to you. So tell me what hat and or shirt that you got. And I don't know if Super Dave's still here in chat, but I don't know if he's still in chat right now, but I want to make sure that he got his merch. So if you're still listening, if you're still out there, Adventure with Super Dave, hit me up. Next time I'll read the comments first. My buddy did that. Listen, it worked. The problem is the football blew up or some shit. I got it in Dad's car too. I got a football in the rear spring. I don't know. I guess I'll take a picture of it, but anyways, to give you guys some sort of like what the F, right? In the 90s, whatever, we were coming up with some shit to make the car stop squatting so hard on the right. The more power you make, the more the car needs an anti-roll bar. And there's no reason why you can't have an anti-roll bar on a simple build like my dad's car. There's nothing wrong with it because you can disconnect it at the track, take one of the links off or both of the links off, which is you could use wagon pins from a tractor. All an anti-roll bar does is keeps the car from rolling out crooked. So back in the day, we used to put football in our rear spring. I shit you not. We would deflate the football, put it in the rear spring, put it back in the car, and we would inflate the football so it would be stiffer on the right spring. And we did it on Project Hot Wheels when it ran a 1093 at 128. And you could see in the video because the car was like kind of sitting up a little bit, like the football made the car go up a little bit, like it was crooked and shit. But I mean, it didn't squat real hard in the right tire. But I mean, you had to do what you had to do back in the 90s. That's all we do. That shit is cool, man. Dan, I found a 351 Windsor. I'm contemplating GT40Ps. Hell yeah. And N41, that's a good build. So also with a football, if for whatever reason you forget to lock your hood or pin your hood or whatever, you F this cowl panel up, like they get them bent or whatever. Like if your hood comes up and bends your cowl panel, one of the little tricks that you can do is you can deflate a football and you can stick a football in there and inflate it, and it'll help bring the cowl back into place. Or a ball of some sort. It works. It does work. So I have the Steeda airbag in my rear passenger spring right now. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Listen, we used to have what was it, Steeda or Maximum Motorsport? I don't remember. There was a spring that was sold that was off, like it had more coils in it, and you put that one in the right rear, just so it would be able to stiffen or whatever. Yeah, I'm about to put pins in my hood. So if you ever forget, if you ever F your cowl panel up and bend it, one of the little tricks that you can do is put a football in the cowl panel and pump it up, and it'll help kind of inflate. You got to find a way to get it to deflate it too. But one way you can do is put a football in there and inflate it, and it'll help bring that dent back out. So, but anyways, okay, I got Eric Pence. I got you on the banner. Make sure Pimp and Matt Wright, make sure you guys email me at neomustangs.com, neomustangs@hotmail.com, and tell me what shirt you want from neomustangs.com. So, again, go check out some merch at neomustangs.com and buy some shit from us. These shirts right here are cool as hell. The little JACKSTAND Church stuff. It's pretty cool. Anyway, this week we're going to catch you up with the rest of Foxtoberfest, and we're going to talk about Pure Street. Just give it a look. Give me 30 seconds, 45 seconds of your time. Scan through the video. Tell me what you think. We're going to actually talk about the 393 carnage that happened with the black car. And we are taking our white car out to Quaker on Wednesday, which is the absolute last race of the season for any tracks around here till April. So it's going to be like 60 degrees, and it's not going to, it's not going to be sunny. It's still going to be cold as shit. But the DA is probably going to be like 400. So we're going to go out there and spin it one more time. And like I said, we're going to make the video about us splitting the white car in the middle. And we're going to put like little marks on the split to see if is it happening every hit now, every time I go down the track? Is it splitting, or is that something that just happened once? So I don't know. We'll figure it out. E-Bach, that's it. Came with an airbag. Some of the E-Bachs came like, was it E-Bach or Steeda or something? Came like different sizes or whatever. Anyways, yeah, I appreciate everybody who helped out tonight. Hurricane, $10 super chat. HLR Saloon, $20 super chat. Shelby County with $10 or $20 total. Give someone a shirt. And Andrew for 10. I appreciate you guys coming through with us tonight. Mustang Guy, been a member for 43 months. Check out that join button, become a channel member, the guys in green. Appreciate you guys that do that. So big shout to Pence. He's got the Tremec banner. Matt Wright and Pimp both got a shirt and or a hat to pick out. So anyways, we got some stuff coming up this week, and let me know what you guys think. But in the end, I had a lot of fun at Foxtoberfest. Budget building in 2025. We got a lot of options that we can do with Coyotes, 351 Windsors, even the stuff that we do with dads. And this shit never gets old behind me. I love it. It's always been a good passion of mine. We've done it with the black car. We've done it with Project Hot Wheels. We did it with the two-tone ultra blue car, if you guys remember that. All these builds are relevant. None of the engines ever blew up, except the black one. I went a little bit crazy on the timing, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So it definitely worth you guys giving a chance. Foxtoberfest, we'll be talking about that again in the future with when we get brutal on the channel and we talk with Andrew or whatever. Pure Street, I think, is a thing that we're going to do. We're going to do it at Fort Takeover, and we're going to do it at Foxtoberfest in 26. But one thing I did want to mention is we have Fox Days of Christmas coming up. So we got to figure out what we're doing. So we're going to reach out to some of these companies, and every year I try to give away some shit to you folks here on the live chat. This year we're going to give away a nice gift to the members, to each tier of the members, because we have multiple tiers in our membership. So I'm going to give them a shot at a really, really good item that we're going to find for them for Fox Days of Christmas, along with some really cool shit for the general people who follow us here on the channel. So be looking for that. We're going to do a lot of cool shit. Probably got a camshaft we'll give away this month. I'll get with Donnie B and see what he thinks, or even Trick Flow. You guys let me know what you guys want. choice of or N41. We'll figure it out. So been in the shadows all night. All right. So anyways, we got a couple videos coming up. Make sure you guys check them out. Go over to Facebook, Neomustangs at Foxbody Restoration. Go give me a like, give me a follow. We do a lot of content stuff over there. That's just generic posts and little stuff, not the big, long form stuff that we have here. But anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate everybody for popping in tonight and listening to me on JACKSTAND Church. So we will see you this week in the videos. And like I said, next week we're going to be getting with Brother Tom, and we got some real deal car guy shit to hang out with. Next Sunday we're gonna have a great conversation. It's gonna be fire. So anyways, love y'all. I'll see you next week. This week.